Good morning, Midnight's Edge fans. We're here to tell you that we have so much more to offer you now at our Mixed Tees store. Not just t-shirts and hoodies, but we do have plenty of those, and new designs for that matter. You can also get mugs, and of course our brand new limited Amber Turds stained blanket. That's right, just for your bed or wherever you need it. So head on over to Mixed Tees now and get all your apparel and goodies from Midnight's Edge.
Get up, wake up, this is your final warning. It's time for midnightsedge in the morning. The gang is ready to go and it's time for the show. It's time for midnightsedge in the morning.
Okay, the theme was still playing in the background for me. Because I had to sing that. So good morning, everybody. I thought the theme was still going. The StreamYard's way it's been working lately, everything's all messed up anyhow. But good morning, Paul. How are you doing?
I'm
Canada.
good. Hold on. Where are we here? There we go. Yes, I'm muted. No, things are good. I'm in the kitchen eating my kidney pie, steak and kidney pie. It's not everyone's flavor, but I like my steak and kidney pies. It's one of the interesting things about having a European background is that you'll start eating things that the regular cognoscenti here in this country just don't understand, like a pickled mackerel, and then you'll have a pickle, and then have something pickled along with that, like like cabbage. What's with all that pickled stuff, you crazy European?
As someone in Europe, I just want to say that there's a huge variety of different foods in Europe, and some of us take distance from all things pickled. But there you go.
Well, you don't like pickled food?
Well, I'm sure it's fine. I never have it, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't like pickled herring? Like
No, honestly, I don't know because I don't know that I've ever had it.
Oh, like what do they call it? It's I'll have to think of what the name is. God damn
You're
it!
thinking of Sudstumming? That's
No. That's
the King Oscar thing.
No.
That box. Yeah, that was box. That was my ex that was having all of those things, not me.
Oh no, there's all sorts of pickled herring out there. I'll have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll get the name.
Yeah,
so that's it for me. It's the exciting news. We've started off Friday with conversations on pickled herring. Always exciting.
That should tell you how exciting things are in Hollywood right now. I'm actually more excited to talk about a movie that isn't even coming out for like another week and a half, but that I had the pleasure to see yesterday. Even interviewed the director behind it. A certain someone who is
roll mops. Roll mops. You've never had roll mops?
No.
Oh wow. Jeepers.
Again, Europe is big.
No, I know that's true. Not to me.
Well, okay, it's not big in size compared to America, but it's big in diversity. And then I mean the original diversity that was there all along, not like the forced diversity that's come in the last few decades.
Oh my gosh.
That matter altogether.
So has Tom ever had roll mops?
The what?
Roll mops.
I get shots, man. I don't get shit.
I'm
exactly.
shocked you're in Norway. I mean, pickled herring is huge in like Sweden and Germany and.
Yeah, but again, then it's a matter of which part of the country, like what kind of Norwegian are you? So yeah, you see.
Okay, sure.
And I'm the kind of Norwegian that lives in Oslo, which basically means I come from like the mid of the country where we eat meat, where we not too much fish stuff, let alone like leftover fish and dried up. Yeah. So. Don't get me in and started. Oh, we also don't eat sheep heads. That's also a special. Oh yeah. Oh, totally. That's a specialty of the West. It's a real thing. Smala Hovid, look it up. You'll be in shock, but it's a real thing. I've never had it, but we have weird stuff. Well, that's just inside one country. So then to add in the rest of the continent. So yeah.
Eating sheep heads. I think we lost half our audience.
Yeah, well, let's get into the audience and just to finish the food stuff. Darking says for $5 Australian. It's okay, Paul. Americans eat offal in their hot dogs and hamburgers instead of in pies. Never ask what goes into the taco or burrito. It's probably a good idea.
True, yeah.
There's going to be some local varieties as well. Some things, it's better to not know. And packing protons on that. What happened to Wednesday's show? And I had no idea what you were referring to, so I had to go and check. But having checked, there was some setting that was ticked by accident, which basically just unlisted it. So it was still viewable, it's still on Rumble and everything. You can still view it from the link. It just got set automatically to unlist. So you have to go to playlist or have the link to see it. But it's still there. So, yeah, nothing happened to it at all. Find the link on X and you'll find the stream. No worries at all. And then getting into the big news of the day, the movie we can talk about, the one that is coming out right now, the new masterpiece comeback from Steven Spielberg. Hypergiver says, "Oh look, Tom was right again." And
was I right about this time? Spielberg or something else?
Yes, it's Spielberg. Because Missy Buddy says for $5, I think Spielberg lost the Midas touch or royal jelly about the time he directed Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. What do you guys think?
No, that was after the fact.
Yeah, I agree. That was after the fact.
Like I said Wednesday, I would say that the demarcation point is pretty much Schindler's List. Like the moment he made Schindler's List and then Saving Private Ryan and stuff, that's a different guy after that. And maybe it's because he should have never made Schindler's List, especially that early in his career. And he resisted it for years, for those who don't know. Like, that was a movie that was sitting on his desk for, what, a decade or so before he made it? And I'm not bashing the film. I'm just saying I think that's the moment he stopped being Steven Spielberg, the filmmaker, director extraordinaire, and became Steven Spielberg, kind of one of the original directors who has to shove a message into his film in a way. It's weird how to put it, because I wouldn't say his initial outings were woke, but I feel like he just became this other guy. And what he's doing here is he's trying to put on his old skin suit, and it's just not working. It's just not working. Like, this movie literally came off like a boring remake of Close Encounters. Almost to it, like, it's almost the same exact story in a way. The only difference is between, you know, people getting this strange pull that there's going to be this event. It's just all these people who know these things, basically, and they're trying to get them out into the world. And the movie is pretty much what you see in the trailers. And it makes it look like it's a J.J. Abrams mystery box movie when it's not really. And it drags everything for so long.
Can I just address that for one quick second before you carry on with the review? Because you mentioned something interesting there, that now suddenly Steven Spielberg has started looking like J.J. Abrams. That's bad, because J.J. Abrams was the Timu Steven Spielberg to begin with. He was the one who tried to imitate Amblin and Spielberg. He started totally believing his own hype, that he was the next Spielberg, when of course he wasn't. He was just imitating him, imitating the visuals without really having the soul present. And if now suddenly that is reversed and Steven Spielberg is suddenly trying to imitate the guy who imitated him, then Spielberg has well and truly lost whatever it was that he once had that made him special. Then, of course, we all knew this. Like, at least here on this panel, no one has been in doubt that Steven Spielberg is no longer the director that he once was. He hasn't been for 20 years or more. I agree with that, and this just further prove it, just like every other movie he's done in the last 20 years.
Yeah, and afterwards, the sad part I was thinking about was now I kind of understand why Tarantino says directors should quit after like 10 movies. Because now we've gotten at this point where basically, how do I want to put this? Like, Spielberg is still arguably the greatest director of all time, right? That's not
historically, absolutely.
That's not the question here, or that's not even the point here. But he's also getting to a point now where his bad films outweigh his good films, right? Because in the last decade or 2 decades, I can't think of a handful of his movies that I've liked. Like his last movie that I actually liked was probably Catch Me If You Can.
How about War of the Worlds?
Didn't like it. I think that was before Catch Me If You Can anyway.
No, I think it's after.
Is it? Because Catch Me If You Can, I thought was like 2000 and... You might be right. But either way, like... But part of the reason I didn't like War of the Worlds is it was just very pretentious, and he went against his own edict of, I will never make a movie where the aliens are the bad guy. And honestly, that almost works against him here. Because, kind of semi-spoilers, this movie goes out of its way to try and paint the humans as the worst creatures in the fucking universe. And the aliens never have done shit to us, period. In this movie, basically. So, like, he's gone to that extent, at least to make the aliens neutral to good. But he's also now gone out of his way to make humans look horrible. And for some weird reason, in this movie, I could be wrong, but it feels like buried in here is some kind of immigration allegory. I don't know why. I mean, it's not like nearly as blatant as a lot of other Hollywood movies, but I wonder if Paulie has seen Disclosure Day.
Yeah, man, I saw it last night.
And the look on your face means you didn't agree with me on that part.
Not on the immigration thing. I didn't see that at all. But
well, I see it as like a treatment of how people who are in, like, the way they incarcerated them and stuff like, just, I don't know, just something about it.
There's other things that bother me. I didn't see that.
Oh,
at
that
all.
was like the least of it, but yeah.
That was the least of it. I mean, yeah, I don't even know where to begin. So I did see the movie last night.
You know what?
What
I don't like about this? What I don't like about either doing this job or the entertainment system as it exists right now is that so many movies that I've wanted to see, I come on shows like this and everyone like kills my interest in going to see it.
Well, I mean, that's the way this I don't understand this. That's how these streams are. This particular stream set up.
Yeah.
No, this isn't a complaint. It's not a. It's. I'm not attacking anyone here.
No,
I'm
just,
kind of.
Yeah, it makes you jaded because you learn how shit everything is.
Yeah.
So you don't get the excitement before you'd be crushingly disappointed in the theater anyway, right?
Yeah, that's. I mean, I can't remember. I was not. I the last time I think I was really unbelievably excited was seeing Terminator 2 at 12 midnight.
Yeah,
it was just so much fun.
Yeah, and this movie's 2 hours and 20 minutes. So
that's pretty short these days.
It was a long 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, but Paulie, let's hear.
What do you?
Was there what was good? What was bad? What was mundane? And what was boring?
Obviously, the for me the strongest points was Emily Blunt's acting. I mean, she's just an incredible movie star. She made it bearable for me.
Wow,
I just wanted her. You take all the other characters, I could care less. She was this kind of like conduit, this really cool X-File episode, kind of like situation. And Emily Blunt is just great character. John Williams score, wonderful. There was a little bit of like kind of old school, Spielberg, Williams, moments, which was nice. But few and far in between. But the John Williams score, I did enjoy the last 20 minutes of the 2 hours. That's
like Scary Movie.
That's really about it. Yeah, I didn't see Scary Movie. that's really about it for me. This movie just suffers from a lot of plot holes and pretentious, kind of outdated storytelling. I think this movie would have been, Tom, a little more effective maybe if it was like in the 90s.
Well, that's what I said. Is it's literally like a bad remake of Close Encounters, really, if you think about it. Because the whole point of the film is very similar to Close Encounters, where you basically have these people that are pulled in directions because of this alien phenomena thing. The only difference is instead of going to see a spaceship like they are in Close Encounters, and they don't exactly know what they're up to, the whole point here is they're being basically chased because they have the information and they want to give it to the rest of the world, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I know people are talking about spoiling, and like, there's really a nothing burger to this movie. There's nothing not to spoil, right? Like there's nothing that happens for like 2 hours. Nothing happens,
which
not
is really
a
disappointing
thing. Like,
which is really disappointing because the trailer makes it out to be a completely different film. Like the way they've been setting it up for me the last couple months. It's like, what I'm hoping for when I walked in was to be odd. And Chato, you can't force awe. You can't manufacture that.
Nope.
Spielberg is now a prisoner of his own things that he invented. Honestly.
Exactly. Because there's Spielbergian moments here, but it almost feels like when a band is just trying to recapture one of their hits again, and it just sounds like a bad song.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like
you get to the point where you're imitating your past self.
Exactly. And that's the problem. And not only that, you have the other problem here, like Paulie's saying, is like Spielberg is one of those guys who's used to awing us with like, oh, I've never seen that before. Like one of my favorite stories of going to the theater my entire life was the day I dragged my dad to see Jurassic Park. Because he had not been to a movie in years outside of Dances with Wolves. He didn't like going to theaters. He was a heavy, heavy smoker at that time, so that was the main reason why he didn't like to go. And for some weird reason, he wanted to go see Wayne's World. I think it was 2 that was out at that time. I'm like, Dad, we can wait for video for that. You need to, if you're going to go to the theater, you're going to see a movie that's worth going to the theater for, and you're going to go see Jurassic Park. And he's like, I don't know if I want to go see a bunch of rubber dinosaurs. I'm like, come on, trust me on this one. When that Brachiosaurus comes on the screen, my dad was Alan Grant. He was a kid again. He was 10 years old, and through the rest of the movie, he was just, oh my God, how did they do that? That looks real. And he's like walking, I was like, I thought they were going to be claymation. I didn't realize it was going to look so real. And blah. He was just, I was reliving through him as like a child. It was like so weird. But then I'm going to see this movie, and it's like everything he's showing us, we've already seen for the last 35 years. You're not showing us anything new, right? Nothing new. And I get it. You watch a movie like Close Encounters now, it's very quaint by today's standards, but that's the difference. We have today's standards. Okay, so if you're Steven Spielberg, a lot of what's in the movie should have been the first 15 minutes of the movie. Then from there on out, we have no idea what to expect after that. That's the problem. This whole movie is just chase scene and then the end.
It's a terrible cat and mouse. It's a very rough start. It's a very rough start. You're just like he threw you in here. Whereas Close Encounters, I would argue it's still a great watch because
it is.
Those characters are just unraveling before our eyes, and all they did was see a spaceship. Then he starts building he starts building the Devil's Mountain in his
full of mashed potatoes.
None of that buildup is here, right? Like that's what I think Paulie is saying. Is like
except for Emily, and I just wish they would have stayed with it.
Yeah,
just stay with her character.
The thing that Spielberg did really well at the beginning was compare something or contrast The Incredible with suburban America. That was his trick. He was really good with suburbia, whether it's family, how the houses looked, kids especially, how they behaved in suburbia. Yeah. So when you compare, let's say suddenly a house is covered in some kind of plastic with tubes coming out of it with men in hazmat suits in suburbia, that's a fantastic visual contrast. And he did that a lot, actually.
Yeah,
And then
early on
he's
he
now
did.
he's completely disassociated himself with suburban
Well,
California.
and it's not just the suburbia part, Paul, but you are hitting the nail on the head here, and I think Paulie will
Mhm.
agree with me on this one.
Mm.
Is the big difference between movies like this and movies like Close Encounters and E.T. and some other ones that you just referred to is we actually get to see these people in their normal lives before everything changes. See, the only character we really get to follow that way in this movie is Emily, and it's not really treated in a way where you get any explanation until like 2/3 into the movie, and it's still kind of stupid. So, like, it's
Is it
really
trying
kind
to
of,
be a rival?
yes, it has a lot of that going on there. There's a lot of
Wow, it's
Arrival in there.
I'd rather go see Arrival.
Honestly, even though I hated the end of Arrival,
Right.
Paulie's not wrong. It's infinitely more interesting because of how they're trying to communicate with each other. Because there's a big Jesus allegory in this movie too, and stuff like that. And maybe Paulie didn't see the immigration allegory I did, but it's not so much even an immigration allegory so much as how you treat others allegory. Because there's
The
this
faith one was particularly disturbing for me.
Yeah, that's very, very present on the top of the movie. Don't get me wrong there. The
Which
other
even
one I
in
feel
Close
like maybe
Encounters, he
underneath.
had. Remember,
but-
he had the priests, he had the people praying at the launch pad towards the end. Like there was this thing of unity and wonderment and humankind making that first contact with those people coming off the ship towards the end of Close Encounters. That was really cool about Close Encounters. They had all these weird different people trying to make it to the mountain, right? And only Richard Dreyfuss made it, which was a trip. And
right,
Melinda
which is
Dillon
what
too.
Truffaut says, in the movie. He's like, think about the hundreds of people that didn't make it.
Right. Whereas here, I didn't like anybody except for
No.
Emily.
Well, and that's
Everyone
just what I was getting at, is like, you have one of the greatest scenes in Close Encounters. One of my favorite scenes is the Pinocchio scene. Is the scene early in the film where Richard Dreyfuss is like, oh, Pinocchio's at the theater and the house is just chaos, right? Like Ronnie's off doing her fucking thing, yelling at him over something, and the other kids are going off doing something. One kid's sitting in the fucking playpen banging on the fucking thing with the kid doll thing, and he's like, if you don't stop that, you're 1 second away from death. Like, to me, that just shows their whole life in a little capsule in one moment before everything changes, right? Because then we understand why, when Richard Dreyfuss's character starts to have those visions and he becomes this tunnel vision guy, we've seen his life before that. Now he's this. See, in this movie, we're thrusted into the one couple's life, have no idea how they even got here until they explain it. And then Emily Blunt's character, the way she's acting, for the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie, you're like, is she an alien? Can she just understand what's going on? What is going on here with this character? And that's the other problem, is he's making the movie like it's still the 70s. And I get it. You could make a movie in the 70s and hold the attention of the audience for a while until you finally kind of roll out the plot a little bit. But this is not going to roll with modern audiences. So they're going to sit here going, this is 2 hours of nothing until something finally happens, and it's still
I would have loved a stripped down where it's just Emily's journey and everyone's just a side character. You don't even need half those characters.
A lot of them fall off as on the wayside as you go along too, in a way. Like the Kurt Russell's son's character and the one girlfriend character, Jane. Like those two characters just kind of get, they're there, but yeah.
The thing that fascinates me about, well, most movies in general, but also ones that don't seem to work, that are the product of talented individuals, is that I know the process. Most of us here know the process. And I know that when you see the first cut of something you've done, it'll never be the first cut that it'll never be the first cut again. So as you're editing, you're seeing subsequent cuts, and you start falling in love with what you're seeing, and you start accepting stuff in a way that if you watch this movie a second or third time, Paulie, you might see actually into the logic, into the mind of Steven Spielberg a little bit more. So they've made some decisions that they've like I said, you fall into the trap of falling in love and seeing stuff in your product that first time viewers don't see, but you can't do the first time again. That's gone. It never happens again. And then once you've watched the 100th edit of your movie, you're seeing something completely different from what you would end up seeing the first time. And I think about that. That's but still, they're dealing with talented individuals. Hopefully they're not blowing smoke up each other's asses just to make Spielberg happy about what it is on the screen. that someone is going, the editor especially is going, this is slow. Like these are professionals. I don't know why they wouldn't see the problems that both you and Tom are agreeing. I don't get it.
Well, listen, I mean, that's like a video breakdown we mean you could do is, as far as having the right type of people around you to because what you birth as far as like that thought of the idea and then what is finally seen on the screen, man, it's a miracle. It takes so many people to make that happen.
Yep.
Hold on.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
It's just very noisy up right now. Sorry.
Yeah, indeed. So meanwhile, very disappointing to see that the movie didn't work out. Now there was
because we need it. We need good movies to work. God damn it!
We've had a couple of those lately, though.
So I want to go back to what you said because someone asked me, "Do you think this is going to be a big hit?" And I'm like, no, because of the competition. And what is the competition right now? You have these young directors who've tapped into something. What you said. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Spielberg is trying to be his younger self. It's like, yo, you can't, dog.
No.
And then these kids, I rewatched Backrooms just with that in mind, and I got more out of it. I didn't like the film, but I really appreciate that film on another level now. Then you have Toy Story 5 coming out. I just don't see Disclosure tapping into any of the pop culture.
I have another thought on that as well, just to add to what you were saying there. I agree that the competition is really bad for Disclosure Day, but honestly, I think that this movie was always going to flop, even if it had opened completely on its own with absolutely no competition of any kind. Because just looking at the marketing going into it, the whole concept, to me, the whole thing was boring and uninteresting. Seen it all before from the get-go. I never really understood the appeal. It was kind of like the thing that Hollywood tried to make interesting. There almost seemed to be like this halfway conspiracy theory like thing that, oh, this is something that the CIA ordered to prepare the people for the true revelation that there are aliens, which actually has happened already and no one freaking cared. And to me, all of that just seemed like fake news, just desperate to try to drum up attention for a movie that people just don't care about because it's the wrong movie at the wrong time.
Well, and also at the same time as this is going on, like World War III is supposed to be going on, and they do a really poor job of explaining it. The most we get about it is literally, no, I'm not even kidding. You're laughing, but I'm not kidding. Like they mention it like twice, and then at the end of the movie, we realize, oh, they're serious. Like because like somebody, like twice they make a point about we're on the cusp of World War III, and our World War III is going on right now, and then you're doing this, blah, blah. And at the end of the movie, you realize that they have to interrupt these things because we're literally at this point where we're in the middle of World War III with North Korea. And it's like, this would have been kind of important information to have had up to this point as well. Like, that's the other problem is like Disclosure Day is a perfect title because Steven Spielberg doesn't decide to disclose shit to you until the last few minutes of the movie.
I like the last 20 minutes, but if I,
the last 20 minutes are fine. That's not the problem.
No, you're absolutely right. But if I was to start critiquing this movie, then I'm going to really spoil it for people because, now overnight and today I like the movie even less. So, but I'm not going to do that to anyone that's interested in the chat, Yeah.
And it's hard not to like, because I mean, even just the basic, that's the problem. This movie is so hollow that you can't really talk about the basic plot points without giving the entire film away.
Right.
Like I said, everything that happens in this movie should be the first 15 minutes of a movie. Like I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because for 2 hours, nothing fucking happens. And I'm serious, like absolutely.
Well, a lot of stupid stuff happens.
Yeah. Well, nothing that's really important to the story until like the last half hour, 45 minutes. Yeah.
Is that listen, I better stop because then
I'd like to have liked it more. See, that's the thing I'm disappointed in because there could be a good movie here. Steven Spielberg is one of the greatest filmmakers, if not the greatest filmmaker of all time. He's huffing his own farts here. That's the problem. He's gotten so far away from who he was, and him trying to put on his old skin suit is just not working, right? Like,
and I don't think it's just regular competition, because what we're seeing is just a shift in taste with this new generation of kids coming to see movies, which is fantastic. That it's almost silly now, these type of movies, whether they're like decent to good or decent to bad, they became relics really fast. Masters, Mando,
sorry, I'm laughing.
And this one.
I'm sorry, I was laughing at Six's comment here because she told me she walked out an hour into the movie.
So nothing.
So she missed the good 20 minutes at the very end there.
So she's not
compelling, I think, Tom.
So she's saying compelling. It's ultra. Nothing happens. She's not.
She's not wrong. Like, for the first hour, like, absolutely nothing is really happening.
No, I thought she was coming after you guys.
No, she's being serious.
What do you mean nothing happened? That's an exaggeration. No, nothing happens. Is an exaggeration. The good points of it.
Someone's saying in the chat, kids don't give two F's about movies. Yes and no. What they care about is like just origin stories coming from different types of media, whether there's video games or stuff on YouTube, and those young filmmakers have harvested that young audience, and now they're going to the movies. Mm-hmm. That's what I meant, is that this is we're now in a different.
Exactly.
Yes, sorry, I mean to interrupt, but yeah, just to put it in slightly different words, they if they relate to it, they'll see it and they'll be engaged with it. I see the same thing with my kids. They're not that into movies and TV series, but if there is something that intrigues them, then they engage with it. But it has to be like something else in culture that makes it intriguing for them. Right? It has to be some kind of hype or something to it to give them a reason to. Just because it's there is no reason to go see it. It has to be some kind of like social push for it. It has to be kind of like a thing in culture. Then they want to see it, but only then. And I don't think that is restricted to just my kids. I think that's a wider thing with this generation, which is completely natural. Because again, now you have YouTube, you have social media, you have shorts, everything like that. Going to watch a movie is a bigger investment in time and a larger attack on your attention span than it's ever been before, for as long as there has been movies. Because now it's just real brief TikTok casual entertainment, right? That's the norm. To go away from that norm, there has to be a reason to it, or a reason for it, rather.
Well, they have their own norm, and I can kind of get a sense through what's been happening in the movie theaters with backrooms and
obsession,
and I'm going, I totally appreciate that. It's not my kind of movie, and I understand the tone of it too. And I'm also going, it's not my tone. I couldn't duplicate that in my work, and I'm not going to try.
Mm-hmm.
So, I probably could have written a better version of Scary Movie 6, just because it has a lot of shtick and jokes and stuff in it. That's completely within my wheelhouse. But there's a lot of new stuff I wouldn't want to try to imitate, because there's also subjects and people underestimate the world that they understand, that they believe, and that they inhabit. So if you go back to, let's say, a Woody Allen film, he set a lot of things and made fun of art galleries, libraries, opera, very sophisticated things that made fun of people with money who go to these kinds of things, and he shows them up to be the assholes that they are.
The pretentious assholes that they were. I mean, that's correct. What Annie Hall was. Yeah.
So basically, just like Chalamet did. So basically, Chalamet, he did a remake of Woody Allen then when he attacked, not opera, but ballet. Yeah.
the importance of ballet to this yeah.
So
To
so
this
the
audience.
thing is,
Mhm.
but there's
Good
so
point,
many
yeah.
things in that Woody Allen, which we don't go to libraries, we don't go to bookstores, we're not attending opera. There's just things that was part of his language, his group. He was making fun of, the shallow individuals who use that to
Mhm.
to
Well, the
buttress
ones
their
that
own
do,
reputation.
which is very much going back to Spielberg, they think that they're these elevated people, and let me show you what humanity is. We're on the brink of war. And I mean, it's
And
like,
that's
dude,
the point, is that
can you be any
what
more on the
Spielberg is
nose,
thinking is
Spielberg?
is elevated people is not the same as what the kids think is
No,
elevated people.
not at
That's
all.
my point.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, they're going to be making fun of a completely different set of archetypes.
well, I just
Culture's in
think
the
that they're
chat.
gonna be in a rude awakening, guys, for just how little this movie's gonna make.
Well, it's doing a little bit better than Motu at least. But culture,
Wow.
if you want to hop on in and let us know what you thought about it too. I mean, we can kind of
Yeah,
tell.
I'd love to. I'd love
Come
to
on
hear
in.
your thoughts on the framing and the focus that the movie was in. I imagine that his review is going to be
Mhm.
addressing that, the camera angles and the focus or lack thereof.
Well,
But yeah, before we move on, let's
yeah.
briefly address the box office, because it's
Yeah.
Friday, which means we now have the Thursday preview numbers, and it earned
Yes.
6.5 million in previews, which to be fair, 6.5 million in previews, these are not bad numbers unless it's a massive movie which is expected to do twice that. Then it's bad numbers. Now, considering that this is the comeback movie of Steven Spielberg, some people actually thought that this was going to be a big hit and are like acting real smug about it. Like, I said this was going to happen, and like, no one said otherwise, other than like the gist of people. And I'm not targeting anyone in specific now. Plenty people have been doing that in social media, going on like, this is gonna, like, everyone thinks this is gonna be like a huge hit. I don't know anyone who thought that. Maybe like the people in Hollywood maybe thought that, but I don't know
I
a
was gonna say, yeah, maybe
single
people in the
person
bubble.
outside of it. Yeah, maybe people in the bubble, they may have thought that. I don't know a single person outside of it that ever had any thought that this was going to be some kind of monster hit. And indeed, 6.5 million in previews, which puts it on track for a 35 million opening. And so kudos, Paulie, for posting that behind the scenes here. I have another figure on top of that, which is that they're hoping for a 65 million global opening weekend. That would be 10 million more than Masters of the Universe. Which again are not great figures on a movie with a budget of more than 100 million. But we do have Mr. Culturecasino joining us.
Hey.
I'm curious, before we move on with the numbers, I'm sure you have something to say about those as well. How was the focus on the movie? Like,
it was oftentimes challenged by the lens flares that were there every 5 minutes or so.
Are you joking? For real? There were lens flares.
There were
my
double lens
God.
flares, layered
Oh my
lens
God.
flares. It was
Jesus.
awful. It was distracting, right, Paulie? I mean, I was like, lens flare. I'm calling
There
it
was
out
so
in the
much
theater.
I'm telling you, what I did not expect was lazy, bad, contrived cinematic devices.
Are we sure that J.J. Abrams didn't ghost direct this?
I probably did.
He put his wife in it. I mean, she was there as the Colin Firth's dead wife, I think, at one point in the film. So, which apparently, if you're an alien, you can make yourself appear as an animal or as another, person entirely. You have telekinesis. You have the ability to read people's minds,
Which is not even really explored at all, is it?
No, and I think Drinker called it the magical alien dildo. It allowed for
it is.
it's
like this magic MacGuffin, basically.
Yeah. I was like Mystery Box Theater equal, along with McMuffin, and just the slowest possible OJ chasing the white Bronco thing I've ever seen for 2 hours. You guys aren't overstating it, and I I hated this movie so much that I may have recorded the most passionate video I've ever done for a film review. It just don't waste your money. This is $11 and 2.5 hours you will never get back.
Damn. I'm gonna go see it. I'm
Oh
sorry.
no. I said
I
don't see it. I said,
No, I have to.
No, but I understand. Like, no, that's for everyone listening.
I
We
mean-
Right.
who are here on screen, we
Yeah,
are exempt.
I
Whenever
think,
we say don't see this
for
and
sure.
stuff, that doesn't
Yeah.
apply to us. We have to suffer, so you don't have to.
that's
I
right.
think anyone who was gonna go see this film, leave now, because I'm so tempted to spoil the fuck out of this movie.
How do you spoil it?
Well, when we talk, what do you mean?
Just talk
funny.
about the last 20 minutes and not the first
I
2
mean,
hours in which
I could
nothing
begin at
happened
the
other than
first
spoilers.
You
shot of
can
the
guess
first
what
movie.
happens in the last 10, 15 minutes. Not only that, I guessed exactly how this movie was going to end. That's how well I know Steven Spielberg, right? It's like listening to an AC/DC album now. You know exactly what the fucking song is going to be. Don't matter what the fucking title
So-
is. You know exactly what it's going to be.
So premise is a very important thing when you're pitching a movie, because people will accept a badly done movie that has got a great premise versus a brilliantly done movie with an uninteresting premise. Would you say that the premise of this movie is interesting? Like, if you made the pitch for this movie, the 25-word elevator pitch, would it be interesting at all?
I
That would
think
be the whole movie.
Yeah, unfortunately. And I think that there is no way to present this without reflecting back on better works, even by Spielberg himself, as you guys said earlier in your conversation about it. I think that this is playing off of the same tropes he has so many times before in much better ways. I was so disappointed, guys. I mean, this is somebody I looked up to when I was a kid because he was,
we all did.
the great filmmaker.
Oh yeah,
I mean, we all do.
And
I still
his
look up
last
to them.
his last two offerings have been so disappointing
Too.
that, well, I mean, West Side
Sorry.
Story, I didn't think anybody could ruin that. And then
People forgot about it until you just brought it up.
Oh, sorry.
the
and then-
Bravermans.
and I know that
The
puts me at odds
Fablemans
with
was
Fablemans.
Paulie,
really
Fablemans.
but the
that bothered
Fablemans was
me.
awful. And then you have this film. I mean, at a certain point, and again, I retired young. I suggest that to everybody if you can plan for that, it's good. But
You hear
but
that,
I think,
Andre?
I think Spielberg.
Actually, I didn't.
You should retire young if you can.
Okay.
If
Something's
you
wrong with
plan
his
well.
headphones.
Yeah, and
I have some audio issue.
I'm just saying if you can afford to do it, and you've planned well, you should, because you walk away before you become the villain, and I think we're entering the
Right.
Spielberg villain arc. So
Yeah, I mean, for me, my last really enjoyable films of Spielberg was Bridge of Spies and Lincoln. I absolutely love Lincoln.
man, Bridge of Spies is definitely one to mention. So
Bridge of Spies is wonderful. But I think that not this one.
what here? So here's the problem, Paul, and I think this comes in. This will answer your question better about the elevator pitch. I think the only reason this got made is because Spielberg wanted to make it. There's no other reason. It wasn't because it got pitched to anybody with any kind of like real story to back it up. It's because Spielberg was involved.
Yeah, I'll tell you the pitch. Steven wants to do an alien film. Okay, here's the money. Go.
No, yeah, it was really like, I get it. I get why the movie exists, but it feels like a half-baked idea. It feels like the first part of a script that was never finished. Because it's like, okay, so aliens exist. And then what, Steven? That's it. It's like,
Yeah.
well, no, you got to do more than that, man. You got to come up with something. You've made that movie already, dude. Right? Like, and he has. And that's the thing, Culture. I don't know if you felt the same way. I'm watching this going, I've seen this movie already. It was called Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Only it was
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And here's the thing, and I want to reflect on something that I said very positive in my review, and I think Paulie already talked about. They wasted good actors. They wasted Colin Firth. They wasted Emily
Coleman
Blunt.
Domingo. And,
Yeah. Domingo was brilliant.
barely
and I'm
even in the
thinking-
movie, hardly. But yeah,
I'm like, what? This rivalry between Domingo's character and Firth's character needed to be explored. We needed to understand the adversarial positions these gentlemen had placed themselves in, and for what reason. And everything about this is approached as at the surface level. It's
Very, yeah. Yeah.
It's a mile wide and an inch deep. That's
Right.
this movie.
And you could see all the actors just trying to elevate the material. You know, Coleman is what a presence. What a presence. And then Emily Blunt is an amazing leading
Well,
woman.
and Coleman's character bothered me because he was basically the J.J. Abrams character in the film. So what do I mean by that? He's the guy who knows everything, and we're not going to find out anything until the end, and you know that, right? And he's doing some elaborate thing that's never really quite explained exactly. It kind of is, but isn't. And again, but it's never quite... Like, there's so much of this movie you're going, you wasted 2 hours of my life when you could have told me so much more about these other things that could have been more interesting to where I could actually give a shit at this point. That's the movie's biggest sin, is that you don't care about any of the characters because they don't give you any real sense of who they are outside of, like I said, the Emily Blunt's character or whatever.
Yeah, it's the girl is the key to everything done across 3 or 4 characters, and again, Domingo's character being the one that's the most prevalent, and I don't like that, right? I do not like J.J. Abrams.
He's basically like a prophet. Let's be real. This is a big Christ allegory at the end of the day.
They did touch on some religious themes. There's no doubt about it.
Very much.
I didn't see it quite the way some people had presented it, and this doesn't challenge my faith. No, this is a fictional piece of garbage that I'm going to discard as soon as I can out of my brain. It is I mean, I, like Paulie, have thought about this movie now since I saw it yesterday afternoon, and it's worse than I even rated it. Like, I thought maybe I'd bump it to a 4. Like, I gave it a 3 out of 10, but I thought maybe I could give this a 4 out of 10. Now I think it's a 2 out of 10.
I'm like that with the Backrooms. I actually saw it again.
It's
and
elevated
it.
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah,
but no, this is just like, yeah.
Well, it's hard to talk about it without spoilers.
There's so many. Yeah, exactly. Because there's so many swipes they take, swings they take. Literally, they all miss.
Yes.
I think we have another existential problem that maybe is in there. I haven't seen the movie, but I'm just listening to you guys. Is that one of the aspects of these alien movies that Spielberg has made and have other people have made is that we kind of, even though we have a multicultural society, it's still somewhat ethnocentric and has been up until recently. And I would say that mass migration has been such an alien thing in ways that I don't think anyone comprehended how different certain individuals are as a large group. And we are living on this planet, and we had no idea that we're living with other people who are so different from us, aliens, and we're feeling really uncomfortable about it. So you've got these strange creatures that are 3D and elastic and rubbery and things like that, and we're going, holy fuck, we actually have our own aliens that we don't understand.
Well, it's a lack of assimilation is the thing that we're struggling with globally.
Yes,
right now. Whereas these aliens have assimilated. They present themselves to humans as animals. So yeah, you're right. But and again, that's why I understood where Tom was coming from with the alien allegory. But again, I wanted to like this movie. I know Paulie did too. I was
Paul,
like,
you're still making a better movie in your head. See, that's the problem, is the way the movie was presented in the trailers was something kind of along the lines of Steven Spielberg's version of V, right? Yes. Like, they've been here all along and we didn't know. No, that's not what this movie is. Mm-hmm. That's not even close to what this movie is.
No.
This movie is basically what Andre said in the beginning. It's the movie version of the reversal of this thing's going on, so we need to distract the public. It's like the opposite of that. It's like there's this thing that's distracting the public that's going on, but we got to tell them about aliens.
And the like characters we're doing things out of character, out of story. Like, why this? And then the stupid takes,
very stupid takes,
and then some editing where I was just like, did I just see that?
Can I just introduce one of the sticking
And I'm
points?
trying
that
not
I
to
had?
spoil it, guys, man. Any
Oh.
details.
It's hard
I
not
don't know.
to.
It's hard, man.
This sounds like a bad version of Men in Black.
It is basically in a weird way because there's no plot, unfortunately. It's just the setup and then the story ends. But you were going to say something, Culture?
Yeah. So there is a point where one of the characters is an outright liability. And that is ignored by the people who it could damage the most, and eventually does. So I have to be at the point where I'm dismissing any of these people's decisions because they don't serve those people well. And again, that's the only way I can say it. It sounds very cryptic, but if I were allowed to spoil it, I would tell you that character not getting rid of the liability by just leaving it behind was a huge mistake.
Well, there's a lot of that crap in the movie. Like, that's the thing is, okay, because he put the whole Christian thing out there. That's the problem.
It was dumb.
So
Wow.
because of that, it's hard to not kind of say that is the major issue of the film, because that's really the plot of the movie. It's basically a big Jesus allegory, but it's somebody who has a connection with aliens, and where he's getting off with this whole idea of it's going to make you question your faith. I'm not so sure about that.
No,
I'm not so sure about that,
that's
because
a spoiler talk.
it is a little spoilery.
I would
but
love
at the
to
end
talk about it, but
yeah, at the end of the day, it's just it is that it's a big Christ allegory, but it's also set up in a way to where it's supposed to be like, yeah, see, now what are you going to do? But it's like, no, Steven, you didn't really do anything.
no,
Right? Like,
you
So,
just
okay,
took a
I've got
swipe at Christianity.
yeah.
So my
it was pretty
question
lame.
then is there enough story and plot in here to edit it down into a coherent film?
Not well, it would be a short film.
It would be
No,
very
well,
short.
that's fine.
It would be an episode of X-Files, and it would be
Really?
Or
be
amazing
continued.
stories.
It would be, X-Files is really good about this. They would do a two-parter that had to do with the overall arc of the of X-Files, which was, the government and aliens.
Right.
And they would do great two-parters. This would have been one episode, part one, and then you do a part two. That would have been dope.
Okay, I gotta say this real quick, Drew. You may not have seen it, but basically Emily Blunt's character is Jesus.
at one point she actually has to say, "I don't want to be a religious figure" or something
Yeah,
like that.
I don't
Yeah.
like basically saying I don't want to be your Messiah.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
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 He's not the Messiah. He's a bad boy.
Very naughty boy.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, now we got one from DCB Titan. Do the spoiler review now. We pretty much have. That's pretty much
haven't.
it. It's
We really
what
haven't.
is there to
Because Spielberg
spoil?
has talked about the Christianity in his stupid interviews.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to hold back.
What the hell
Really?
does he know about Christianity?
Don't get me started.
DCB Titan. I wish we could say there's really much to spoil to it, but there's not. I mean, like I said, once you start getting into the film, about a third of the way into the movie, you'll be like, you can almost like picture in your head how the movie's going to end, and it will piss you off because it's like
The title is terrible, and the poster is terrible, and Samuel Z. Arkoff used to greenlight movies when they gave him the right poster.
Nice.
He'd go, Creature from the Black Lagoon or whatever it is. He didn't care about the
Right.
script. He said, give me a poster. Oh, that
Yeah.
one. Okay, we're making that one. And Spielberg, apart from making iconic movies, had iconic posters. Jaws. I mean, Close Encounters.
One of the
I mean,
most
these are things that are part of our lives.
iconic
We
posters of all
collected
time.
these
Yeah.
things. The fact that this, to me, you can tell the illness of something from tea leaves
Yep.
from the tea leaves.
Yep.
And the tea leaves here is the disclosure is a terrible name. The poster is uninteresting.
Mm-hmm. Uninteresting.
And you go,
Yeah,
okay.
retread. Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? Like this tells
Even
me
John Williams' score isn't that memorable.
No.
Like, this is probably going to be his last score.
I did love the music.
The music was fine, don't get me wrong, but there was no real theme here that I could point to and go, oh yeah, that's John Williams.
There was one point where I heard they mixed in the Harry Potter
When
theme.
was that it? I also heard the
Yeah.
Wish Upon a Star, but like
It's Harry Plopper.
or not wish upon a star. Someday my prince will come. See, that's the thing. There's Spielberg isms in here.
Yeah,
right.
They're just not good.
It is, and that's why I kind of
too little,
compare it to
too late.
AC/DC
No,
in a way, because it's like, but unfortunately, it'd be like if AC/DC took like 20 years off to make like jazz albums and other shit, and then they came back.
Well, this is Spinal Tap 3.
It is kind of in a weird way.
Well, Spinal Tap 2 was not
that
very
took me
good.
a second.
I like Spinal Tap 2, so let's
didn't
be
even
nice
see
to
it.
it. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. Let's be real. At least it wasn't a big political piece of shit.
Let's be real.
Let's be real.
Let's move on, Tom.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, let's be real. The people that were involved, we were lucky it wasn't nothing but an anti-Trump movie, the whole thing. First of all, that's one win.
I see what you're saying. Wow.
Secondly, there is some good moments in it, but I agree with Paul in a lot of his assessments in that the best scene is the Paul McCartney bit, right? Like, that's it. Like,
You just
peaked with
spoiled it
that.
for me, man.
I mean, the end is pretty good, but that's the peak moment of the film. But anyhow, that being said, get back to Disclosure Day. There is no real peak moment in Disclosure Day until the very, 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 very end. And even then, you feel like you've been cheated. Like, that's, I think, probably the biggest problem with the movie.
I said at the end of my review that there was a collective sigh or moan in my theater at the last scene.
Ain't nobody watching in my theater.
I'm going to create a collective sigh and moan right here because unfortunately, Mr. Chato has to be leaving.
Chato has to leave us.
Chato.
I have to go.
May the Lord have mercy on your soul if you go see this.
I feel bad because I think Paul would have liked this movie if it was at least semi-decent.
I'm gonna need to go see it. I'm not trying to be
Let's
movie reviewer.
Maybe you'll like it and we get an opposing view here.
You might like it. It might be one of those movies that you could be like, oh no, I totally get what Spielberg was doing and this, that,
Derek
and blah, blah, blah.
Anderson like it? The DA?
Did he?
What?
I think so.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and, like, again, this is a kind of movie where I can understand where a certain type of person might enjoy it.
I see.
And I don't even mean that.
I see.
And I don't even mean that in any negative way. What I mean is,
I might suddenly like it.
Andre is the type of person who might like this, but he'll like it for totally different reasons than what you're thinking. Because I think, like, conspiracy people will probably enjoy this film in a weird way. You know what I mean? Because there's that kind of element to it.
I don't think so. I think it's very
but that's the problem. I don't know.
Very pedestrian.
I have to say, I'm very, very selective about my conspiracy theories, and the alien ones I reject wholesale.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean,
dark matter and bullshit.
Well, the thing is it's even set up in a way to where the government isn't even really technically the bad guy.
Well, hold on. Andre was trying to give me a gentle way to leave, and John won't shut up. Anyways. Bye, everyone.
Anyway, what you got going on? Anyone you want to plug before you have to leave?
I have nothing to plug.
Well,
I am making the TV guide video.
Finally, what year are we on now? 91, 90?
1990.
Are you sure you don't want to? Are you sure you don't want to plug HelloFresh?
Well, you can't. It's the opposite of plugging.
Oh,
if you guys are looking for a sponsor, you can do worse than Mr. Paul Chato.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was 1990.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah, and it actually absolutely destroyed any television show that was on at the same time. So
people forget how big that was.
Oh, it was fantastic. Anyways, love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Oh,
fantastic.
I won't see you Monday.
Oh, okay. Well, then you'll plug something on Wednesday then.
Fine. Bye.
Yeah.
Take care, Paul.
Take care.
All right. So let's see what you guys are talking about out there. We got Wilson Santos de Souza. Did I say that right?
Wilson Santos de Souza, who sent us 10 Brazilian real.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
The W is a W sound outside of where you're at. Just so you know. Yeah. And then Wilson sends another one in. Wilson Santos de Souza. And please correct me if I'm wrong, Wilson.
I thought it was De Souza. I could be wrong.
De Souza? That may be correct.
De Souza.
Did I not say that? De Souza?
No, you said Vincent, I think, or something like that instead of Wilson.
No, you're hearing
Wilson Santos de Souza.
No, he said Vincent. Anyway,
Okay.
what do you think?
He's got
He
that
tries to
alien
make
thing.
everything like one of those kind of names, like Vincent or Olaf or. What do you
Have a
think
very
about the new director?
European way of saying things. But sorry,
Exactly.
carry on.
What do you think about the new director and writers attached to the Streets of Rage movie? Ooh, this is one for Andre. Does it make you more optimistic about the project? Yeah, this is something we're following quite closely, or at least close as it can, considering.
Well, just to give a brief update then, the previous person who was attached was Derek Kolstad, nice Norwegian name right there. And he is the person who's behind the John Wick franchise. And he was the one who was supposed to be writing Streets of Rage. And that he no longer is tells me that he did deliver a draft, and either Sega or Lionsgate didn't like it. And now they have a new creative team in charge. Now, I do not recall top of my head. I have to look this up exactly who it is that's now overseeing the movie, but it is two people that used to work with. Let's see, I think I have it here. Here. Let's bring it up on screen here because I did find the link for it. Tom, can you put the link? I'm putting it in the private chat.
Yeah.
It's from Variety from a couple of days ago. Sega's Streets of Rage movie sets Sonic the Hedgehog writers Pat Casey and Josh Miller, James Samuel to direct for Lionsgate. Now, I'm not too familiar with this James Samuel or what he has done before. And maybe Pat Casey and Josh Miller of Sonic the Hedgehog can do more things than Sonic the Hedgehog. But just going by Sonic the Hedgehog, I am not happy about these news at all. I am tremendously less excited for it. Because here's the thing with Sega. It can't all be Sonic. It can't all be child-friendly and for the kids. And that is my major worry when you have the writers of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, maybe they can do something much more mature, a little bit more brutal, a little bit more edgy. Maybe they can do that. Maybe that's in their wheelhouse. But what has me worried is that whether it's Lionsgate that does this or it's Sega that does this, they went with the team that did Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, they're very cool. They're very successful. They're very family-friendly. Streets of Rage doesn't need to be that family-friendly because it's a beat-em-up. Because that's the thing with Sega. There's quite a few brands there which doesn't need to be that family-friendly. Like, for instance, Golden Axe. You don't want to do that family-friendly. You want to do that rated R. You want to do that real. You want to have that be Conan, a little bit funny, not called Conan. You want to have a replacement Red Sonja and a replacement Conan in it and have it be brutal and a little bit funny, but it can't be family friendly. Same thing with Streets of Rage. It can be PG-13. Yeah, you can get away with that. But when you say it has the writers of Sonic the Hedgehog, now I'm worried. Now I'm very, very worried on the behalf of Streets of Rage. I also do not like the picture they have chosen for this article, which is basically from a remake of Streets of Rage 2 and not the original game. That's not pixel art we're seeing right there. So, I have to say I am tremendously more negative about the project, as well as for the future direction of Sega on film, because they have the properties to rival pretty much whoever, because they have such a diversity of content. But in order for that to work, that content has to be different. Like, forget any notion about every movie going to be like this massive billion-dollar hit like Sonic can be. No. Here you need to make a Streets of Rage movie for like 40 million, have it rated R or something, and have it make 80 million, 100 million, call it a day. That's what they need to do. And I'm tremendously worried so that they're trying to do something else, that they're trying to make everything else Sonic and use that kind of humor and that kind of appeal. and maybe I'm just being paranoid here, but that's
No,
my
I think
instant association when I see they chose the writers from Sonic. Very
well,
worried.
this is probably why we work together, but I understand completely where you're coming from here, because this is only one of the few I can probably get away with showing, and this is barely. Because to remind people that Sega used to do what Nintendo don't, right?
Yes.
Like, you're not wrong. Like, Sega always leaned into the adult fact that they could do things that Nintendo didn't. This is one of the more tamer fucking ads that I can show from that period.
Yeah.
There's a lot worse. There's ones that are pretty blatant. And they did not pretend what they were doing. Now, again, I know this does not equate with the other, but the point is, and I understand where Andre's coming from, is Streets of Rage is a bit more not kid-friendly, let's say. If that says anything. So, yeah, no, I can see that, and you don't want everything to be Sonic. You're right. You're 100% right. Not everything is Sonic, and that's the beauty of Sega, was that they could have something like Sonic, but then you could also have Streets of Rage, or you would get these ads where, like, literally there's this one ad I can't show that looks like it's flat out a Playboy. I shit you not. And it's one of their more famous ones. Like, they did, like, here's another fun one that I remember back in the day. Here's a good one. This one we can get away with showing, probably. Here we go. It's kind of a small, I can't get it to the big version of it for some reason, but yeah. Sure, you remember this one.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
They just blatantly out and out did this shit back in the day, kids. Sega just didn't give a shit.
Oh, it was brilliant. And that's kind of like core to the brand. And I think that they can be very successful, but they don't need to look at Sonic for everything. If anything, they should look at Blumhouse.
This is another one that's
small budgets and be profitable on those small budgets. Keep it real, keep it tight. That's what the Streets of Rage needed to be, a small John Wick style movie. And John Wick, the first one, was a small movie. That was a Jason Statham movie, not starring Jason Statham, which basically means it was made on the relative cheap. And yeah, it also needed to be a period piece. I think it should be set in the 80s. Like, go full Cobra Kai on this one. That's when you have your
90s, early 90s, maybe.
Are you
late 80s, early 90s?
Are you suggesting a gender swap? If you want it to be a period
Dayglow,
piece,
not Gayglow.
No, he said he wanted it to be a
period piece. Not that kind of period.
See, lowbrow humor. I'm sorry, I suffered a lot yesterday.
Did I step into Motu or something? What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, it's just coded that way.
Yeah, well, so yeah, I'm not excited at all about this change in creative team.
Yeah, it's not
worried.
Not giving me too much confidence in the film. I get exactly where you're coming from, Andre, because yeah, everything can't be Sonic, right? Nintendo's one thing where they can probably have the same team that makes Mario work on,
pretty much anything. Pretty much anything. You could have the Mario team do anything, literally, and it will be fine. You can't do that with Sega, because Sonic the Hedgehog, Golden Axe, Vector Man, Streets of Rage, these are all worlds apart.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could use the rings and interconnect them in one major team-up Bash Bros style movie. You could do that, but they need to be worlds apart from different audiences, different tones, different budget levels. And War Monkey says gaming ads used to be so good. Well, not just gaming ads in general. But
everything.
That was before gentrification. That was before gentrification, and before you had the DEI crowd taking over the marketing departments everywhere. Everything was better when it was run by madmen.
But even nowadays, a lot of times marketing departments are disconnected from the creative departments. And
it's obvious.
Was talking to an HBO exec less than 6 months ago in regards to the success of what was it called? The Duncan guy, was it a really good show? The Night of the Seven Realms or something like that.
Duncan Egg?
Yeah, Duncan and Egg. Big hit. What I got from some of these execs is that they're all about, they're really committing to the yearly drop. We're not going to wait 2-3 years, and it's not going to be a dump as far as a binge dump. But their marketing, they have no power over them. They don't even talk to each other, and that's a little disappointing. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
That's a famous problem in engineering and everything like that. Marketing department selling stuff that isn't quite right. I remember a previous job that I used to have. We have like this saying in Norway: "Do not sell the hide of the bear before you've actually shot it." What this marketing department would do, they would sell the hide of the bear before the bear had even been observed. So yeah.
Well, and yeah, that's just anyway. Yeah. Let's see what else everybody's talking about out there in the chat. I was going to go on with more, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, it's not worth it. D-Bud is in the house. Yes, this is a sad truth. And maybe this is why I woke up in the mood I did. We lost Clobbering Times 2 years ago today. Gone, but never forgotten. That's correct. And I got my little Clobby looking over me to my right here on the shelf. We miss him daily, and he will be definitely missed. He was one of the best of us.
Yeah, Mike Alonso, rest in peace.
Yeah,
he was a wonderful soul. One of the first guys I met, even before culture, as far as like hanging out in other people's chats. Clobbering Times was the man. He's such a sweet and gentle soul, and just knew his comics, man.
Yeah.
Just loved having him on. Rest in peace, Mike.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Indeed. And then Hypergiver says, at this point, I'd rather see HFY tapes. What's HFY? Type stories about human being insane, dangerous death worlders than a remake of Close and Far. What is HFY?
I don't know. Someone tell us.
Yeah, I'm going to have like a moment where I'm like, oh, duh. But yeah, you don't have to send in those super chats.
Humans flip, yeah.
But send in more super chats.
Humans flip, yeah? What?
Well, I exchanged a word.
Oh, humans fuck yeah. Gotcha.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Not a, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, like, we want to see Independence Day. It's bad. I don't give a fuck what anybody says about that movie. That's why Americans love that movie. It doesn't matter what you say, because we get to kick the aliens' ass. And that's what would happen. Or actually we'd probably die.
Sacrifice everything to do it.
Yeah. We'll give him Randy Quaid. I think we could sacrifice Randy Quaid for the aliens.
Oh, man.
No, I love Randy. Man.
Randy Quaid would have been great to have.
He would have made the movie infinitely better.
They needed a character like Randy Quaid.
They did, kind of. That is kind of what it was missing, was the typical goofy Spielberg sidekick.
Well,
like there was nobody there.
the
conspiracy theorist. Yeah.
Right.
There's no humor in the film at all. That's the other problem. Like, that's one thing that's definitely missing from this movie. At least with other Spielberg films, there's humor in them, right? Like, even the scene I talked about, one of the reasons I liked it was because, you have this real moment with this family, and it's just this chaotic moment in this household, but it's very funny. Here, there's not a moment of levity that I remember at all. Do you remember
a couple,
any?
But they weren't.
Is there? Yeah, I was going to say, if there were, then I missed them because they went. Yeah.
There's the one with the cell phone.
I guess.
Somebody explained to me how a satellite phone doesn't have signal.
The tech and the
there's so much of that shit in this movie culture that made me go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I said that out loud. I must have been a menace in the theater, because I was like, oh, lens flare again. A lens flare. It's like, and that started to, like, it wasn't just me towards the end of the movie. Everybody else is, it's like, it was bad. And I'm not normally somebody to speak during a film, and I'm there going, I'm like, oh, hey, Harry Potter. And like, it's because in the soundtrack, we got a nice little clip of Harry Potter. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, it was just, again, it's too much like somebody trying to make a Steven Spielberg movie. And the sad part is, it's Steven Spielberg. Joe Pat 87 says, any thoughts on Chato? Matt Flumhalf voicing a cat.
Oh yeah, Gato is
Gato.
it's based in Venice. Black Cat is played by Mark Ruffalo. That's a future Pixar flop. So that'll be
It's a
fun.
Pixar movie.
I think so. I could be wrong.
Okay. Okay.
It could be a different.
Could go either way.
Gato.
Gato.
Yeah, it's not spelled that way. I don't think. Maybe. I
No,
don't.
no, that is how you in Spanish. That is how you spell cat. Gato.
Yeah. I had a Tío Gato.
Oh,
Boy moved,
really?
that boy moved cool.
And Pedro Pascal's not in it, but they picked Mark Ruffalo. Okay.
I mean, wait, now you're gonna make me look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's spelled with 2 T's.
Okay. Well, I don't know. That makes sense.
All right.
But,
as Paulie's looking that up, let's look up the next super chat. Dark King 616 says Spielberg is stuck in the 70s, flares everywhere. Honestly, it's not so much that I think he's stuck in the 70s. He's trying to emulate that Spielberg, and he's just not. You know what I mean?
It was a distraction from the lack of anything on the screen. Paulie was right earlier. It was like there are so many moments of nothing. Like I really do believe that Chris Gore was correct. This film is boring to the extreme, and they fill it up with a lot of visual things that are supposed to cue you as an audience member into. You remember when we did this? Remember when we did that? And maybe drag you some interest into the film. That would have been fun, but no.
I mean, yes, that's kind of where it is. It's kind of, I know I keep going to like music analogies, but it works in that weird way. It's
like, who the girlfriend is? You know who her dad is in real life?
Who?
Bono.
Is that who that? Because I was she looked familiar, but I couldn't place her.
She was in the TV show called
The Girl.
Go ahead.
No, the girl that played Jane.
Jane, yeah.
Yeah, the girlfriend.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Eve Hewson.
Okay. She looked familiar, but I couldn't quite place her.
There was a TV show called HBO called The Perfect Couple. That's a great show. Nicole Kidman, she's in it. I just didn't like her in this role. I didn't like the role, but yep.
I mean, the movie does feel like a movie we would have seen in the 70s, but that's the problem, is that if this was a movie that was shown to us in the 70s, it might be a different story, right?
I don't know.
But we've had so many of these movies already. There's nothing in the special effects field that he's showing us. The movie hits beats that we just expect Spielberg movies to hit, right? Like there's these outlandish action sequences mixed in with the chases, and you're just like, yeah, that kind of feels Spielbergian, but I'm not getting that thrill out of it,
bro. Because you're not getting the thrill because they weren't inspired.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're saying that they're outlandish. There's nothing. They're fucking boring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, outlandish because of what they had to do to put, like, for instance, you literally have because like like 30 years ago, this is what we would have been talking about this movie. They literally drive a car through a house, right? Like, and I'm sure this was a very elaborate stunt setup, and a lot of it was shot practically. You can tell. But I don't care, right? Like, it doesn't matter because we've seen this shit so much. CGI is so prevalent. You got to bring something new to the table, right? Like, this is part of the problem.
All that was just incredibly like, come on, guys.
And then it's mixed with this, and then we have this other action sequence on a train that is so fucking unbelievably convoluted. And there's so many other scenes and stuff where there's action sequences just so they could have action sequences, or chase sequences, I should say, where it really makes no sense. Like, because you're just sitting here going, why didn't this character just do this? Or why didn't this character just do that? And I'm trying not to get spoilery, but that's the problem. So little happens in this movie, it's tough not to be spoilery.
But we're going to go west. No, we're going to go north.
Yeah. It's just a lot of that kind of shit.
I got to stop.
It's just so fucking boring. Anyway, Joe Pat says, and I mean Ruffalo. Of course we did. Of course we did. Yes, indeed.
Oh,
Mark Ruffalo. Dark King says, I'm sick to death of people saying we've made 11 albums that sound exactly the same. In fact, we've made 12 albums that sound exactly the same. Angus Young. Did he actually say that? If he did, that's fucking amazing balls, and he's a fucking Well, he's already a fucking legend.
Well, he wouldn't be the first one where that is the case.
No.
I can list a number of artists, especially in that kind of music, where their albums sounds pretty much exactly the same, where only the most hardcore of fans are able to tell one song apart from the other, let alone the album. So yeah.
But but there's something to that, because then you look at the other stories, like Guns N' Roses is a great example about trying to change your image and sound, not working, right? Like you could say what you want about AC/DC and Kiss, they didn't fuck with the brand. It stayed the same.
Well, Kiss for a while there, but anyway.
No, but they went back to the old formula.
Yeah. But there are a number of bands that never moved away from the formula. So yeah.
And their music didn't change for Kiss. It was just the fact that the gimmick changed. But then they got smart and they went back to it pretty quick. It didn't take them too long. A couple of years and that was it.
Yep.
But anyhow, yeah, Angus Young, I think Spielberg is in the same rut. I mean, he's been in that rut for a while. And again, after seeing this movie, after sitting through this movie, one of my first thoughts, other than because I stood up and I looked at the 6 other people in the theater because I was in the front row because of the way the theater's set up. It's the only time I'll sit in a movie in the front row. And I looked at the other 6 people that were in the theater and I said, well, that was a shitty remake of Close Encounters, and they all kind of chuckled. So I think
it just makes me want to see Close Encounters right now.
It does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a much better film at the end of the day. So yeah. And yeah, no, I just don't think he's the same director he was. And I think Tarantino's right that directors should only make so many films and then quit, probably. I can see where he's coming from now. DCB Titan, we already did the spoiler parts a little bit, but thank you again. Dadamiwo, I did see you sent an email. I haven't got to it yet. My inbox was chock full of crap this morning and other emails and texts. So when I get a chance to here, I will try to sift through it all and get to your email. Thank you for the $2. He's got an email reject, pop, return old and obscure. That's weird. So maybe just double check. Maybe there was a letter mistyped or something. It's weird. But I did see one new one from you this morning. I haven't had a chance to read yet. DCB Titan says, still stop holding back. Let the hate flow. I wish I cared that much, right? Like the part that's bothering me and probably Paulie and culture more than anything is that the greatest director of all time has now just become a joke.
Yeah.
And he's going to live long enough to see himself basically be.
He's the villain.
I don't really want to say the villain, but just become some mediocre gun for hire.
Well, he's just not
basically.
Relevant anymore.
Yeah.
His work is not relevant anymore. It hasn't been for a while. I mean, his dramas are pretty good. Bridge of Spies, Lincoln.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that there's anything. Okay, like let me
reassess
older, what I said earlier.
Do different shit.
Yeah, you can do that, but he just lost that spark of whatever made him Steven Spielberg before. It's not there anymore, and he's trying to recapture that, and it's just not happening.
But I blame him for foisting Rachel Zegler upon us all.
Well, he also is responsible for LeBeau too. So
yeah, he's done a lot of good. Here's like the thing, right? That I think that Steven Spielberg was the right man at the right time. In the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, he really shaped culture then, and then culture moved beyond him. And then his shtick, the very things that he excelled at, the things that he could do, no longer worked the same way. Because, well, he probably could keep doing what he had done. People wouldn't respond to it the same way. I think that's very much what is going on here. I don't think that he has become the villain. But I think that he has not evolved enough that he can keep with the times and keep making things that challenges and pushes the bar in the way that he once did. And he doesn't have to, which is why at some point you just have to quit and then let the next generation take over. I don't blame him for making a bad movie here. If anything, I blame him for coming back. I think he did right to step back when he did. He probably shouldn't have returned for this movie, because he if we could move back in time and we could change the culture and go back to where it was several decades ago, probably he would still be able to do what he did then. But what he did then is no longer good enough, because now he is one of the grandfathers, right? Let's just put things into perspective, right? We are now as far away from the time when he was in his prime as the 50s were. 40s or 50s, when he was in the prime. Agreed? Imagine if we were having this discussion. Imagine, just put yourself back into, pretend we are now in, say, 1990. And here's this filmmaker who was active in the 40s and 50s. And now suddenly he can't hack it in competition with Spielberg, with Lucas, with Milius, with all of the other names that have come since then. But he was the shit in the 50s. That's what we're talking about here. We are talking
that same
about
analogy
a relic
last night
from another time that can no longer push things forward. He shouldn't be expected to.
And I made that same analogy basically last night on Comics Division stream, where basically I said, like, we are so removed now, it'd be like us talking about like Ford back in then, where we know there was only a few directors we were still talking about back in the 80s from that period 50 years prior to that. And you're talking like Hitchcock, right? And a very few names, like, and some of them are like, we have been just gone away now today that we hardly talk about, right? Like, I mean, that's the thing, is we are that far removed from when Spielberg was Steven Spielberg now. You're not wrong. And that was where I got to my initial point where I kind of have to agree with Tarantino. And Michael Jackson was the same fucking way, not to invoke Michael here too, but he was somebody who was a chameleon and he could do all sorts of different kind of music. He just got to a point where he's like, I'm done. But Sony kept pushing him and pushing him and pushing him to do stuff. But he's like, no, I'm fucking done. I've all the songs out of me now. You know, I just want to be a dad and live the rest of my life. And he was smart with that respect, because he saw that he could never reach that height again, you know. And so he's like, I'm done. I'm out, and we're not going to do this anymore. And that was why Invincible was his last album, and that was the way he was considered. He was retired. And Spielberg just needs to retire, maybe produce, maybe do some writing on the side, or just continue to make the movies like he was making, like Lincoln and stuff, where it doesn't really matter because you can do those things. Those are little prestige projects. This to me is you're trying to get your old fans back on board with you, and it's not going to work. In fact, if anything, the only thing it's going to do is make people want to go back and watch your older stuff. I guess that's the success here, if anything. Because I mean, even my drive-in, like I pointed out online, they opted out of Disclosure Day. Instead, they're showing E.T. in Jurassic Park.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just impressed you got Michael into the conversation.
Well,
I gotta hand it to you.
I could have earlier, but he's a good example of that, because he did. He's like, I'm done.
But also, you know, cinematically, the storytelling of Michael is a great example to use, because you got a lot of his, you know, as far as early on showing his house, showing his room, showing the books he read, nice little touches, which there was none of that in Disclosure Day, you know.
Well, that was what I was saying. There's no character development here, right? Like, we have no sense of what Emily Blunt is the only one we kind of get a sense of what her life was like before this shit starts happening. But it happens so quickly in the beginning. Like, Wyatt Russell, we're kind of the audience with him. We're just like, this bitch is crazy. Like, because we get no explanations at all. And I'm not saying everything needs to be explained to you, but you can't expect the audience to go on this journey with you if you're not going to give them enough to. And Spielberg was the king of that, right? Like, he was one of the kings of being able to give you nuggets of things. Like, even E.T. is a great example of how it starts out. He just throws you in to the story of this family, and you get everything you need to know in just the first like 10 minutes of the story. That it's this divorced mother of, you know, single mother, and they're in suburbia, and this kid runs into this creature in the field and whatever, in the garage. All that's a setup in the first few minutes of E.T. And from there on out, the story takes place. The setup is at the very end of this movie, unfortunately. Like, I just joked to Gary on X, because he's going in to see Disclosure Day. I said, well, all you got to do is see the last 10 minutes. Really, you won't miss anything. There's nothing to miss. And that's why I said it's hard to not spoil this movie because there's nothing to really spoil.
Well, he'll have a good nap and say, make sure someone wakes you up. for
Yeah,
20
basically.
minutes. Yeah.
And even that just feels like a movie we've seen a million times now. Right? Like nothing
that needs to be in the poster and like the later spots, right? Best nap I've had all year.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to dump on it because it is an original movie for once, and we've had a pretty good year for original movies.
Yeah,
but I can't recommend it. I don't even know how long it is, but it felt 3 hours long.
2 hours 24 minutes.
Is it? Okay, yeah, it feels a lot longer than that.
Everything that's over 2 hours is a mistake.
Pretty much. And honestly, a lot of that's credits too, because remember, we're not staying for the credits because there's no reason to.
I was in the very last row of my theater, in the very back center. I was out of that theater before anybody else was. I was
Same.
flying down the stairs. It was
I did
so
sit
bad.
for a little while just to hear John's music. And then it's like, okay, I'm good.
I'm gonna
And
buy.
it's fine music, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, I'll buy the score, but that's
I
the
don't know
most
if I
money I'm
will.
going to put into this.
I really didn't hear anything in there that made me
I
feel
liked hearing,
sure.
the remnants of Harry Potter and a few other better movies mixed in
Honestly, if he came out, or after his death it came out that this was just leftovers from his other movies, I would not be fucking surprised. Culture.
Yeah.
Remember Ennio Morricone near the end? That's basically what he was doing.
there. I don't blame him, and I don't blame his estate for participating if that's what's happening. But look, John is, for our lifetimes, the best there was.
Oh, there's never going to be anybody close to John. Jerry Goldsmith's the only one who comes remotely close to John Williams as far as their success as a film score.
And his presence is going to be very missed in films forever.
Oh, yeah. Well, it already is, man. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's semi-retired, speaking of. I mean, he's basically 99 years old or whatever it is, and this is probably going to be his last film that he scores.
Yeah.
Let's be real on that. I mean, I was afraid it was going to be Star Wars for a while there. I'm like, come on, man. Give him at least one good one to where he can win an Oscar or something before he dies again.
All right.
Yeah, Bear is probably one of the closer ones. There's a few of them that are all right, but they're not quite what they used to be. And this is somebody...
Battlestar was the last great Bear score. It was for Battlestar Galactica.
He did one for one of the Godzilla movies. It wasn't bad. Garfield's Bizarre Adventures in the house. How you doing, Garfield? Did you see Garfield? Did you see the thing I posted a couple days ago? I didn't even know Garfield had a CD or an album, and I saw it for like $1 at a fucking thrift store. Yeah. Anyhow, I remember the 90s and early 2000s having Steven Spielberg's name attached to a project made a must-watch. Not the case anymore. Absolutely. Right? Like, there's how many movies in the 80s where it just had to say Steven Spielberg Presents on the title, and people went. Right? Gremlins, fucking Inner Space. I mean, we could sit here all day and probably name a dozen movies that he didn't direct, but his name was attached to, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there you go.
Even Transformers by Michael Bay.
Technically, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
ActionCom, not even technically, he is the producer. You're right.
Yeah.
ActionCom 2748 has been a member for 33 months. Thank you for the ActionCom. We appreciate you being a member. Cthulhu says, hope for a member stream soon. I was just going to say, Andre, we need to do a member stream.
Yeah, we should try for Sunday.
We could try that. Want to talk with Andre on how people don't understand how tax credits work. Happy Disappointment Day. Retire already, SS.
Oh, that's the title for the post-mortem right there.
Right. Retire already, yeah. Packet Proton says, at the start, the only thing I didn't like about the Close Encounters is that the family abandoned him. Realistic, but then he falls in love with the mother at the end. Well, there's kind of two sides of that too, right? Because he abandons his family at the same time. And that's something Steven said that he would change if he was ever to make the movie again, is he would never let Richard Dreyfuss abandon his family. But I'm like going, Steven, his family kind of abandoned him to begin with. I mean, not the kids, but the mom was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Right. And rightfully so, because he's going absolutely fucking nuts in the eyes of everybody around him. It's a very real movie though, because I mean, Steven kind of puts himself in that role of like, yeah, I wish I was being abducted by aliens kind of thing and get the fuck off this earth, So, but it's a much better story at the end of the day. Just so much more to it, even though there's less effects and all that kind of business. ActionCom says, Can the panel whistle the 5 notes of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, aka the secret Drax Lab entry code in Moonraker? Is it the same one?
Anyone volunteers? Go for it.
I did.
Yeah,
we did it.
Yeah, you can try also doing that with the theme for Star Wars and the theme for Police Academy.
Yeah, they work. But yeah, no, Close Encounters was specifically made that way. And I can't remember exactly how it went down, but something like Steven only wanted like 3 notes or 4 notes, but John's like, no, a complete phrase is like 7 notes. So if we do it with 5, then I think that might work. Because they try to, pretty much every combination they could think of, and that was the one they kept coming back to.
Just remember, she didn't lose her faith. She lost her calling.
No, she lost faith in humanity, not in God.
Oh,
Like
let's
the
not even get into that.
dumbest
stuff.
nun in waiting ever.
None in waiting?
Whatever she was gonna be, I don't know what the title.
She was a former nun, nun to be, or whatever.
Yeah, nun to be, nun waiting.
Nunus.
Dada Miwu is sending in another 2 to say, email private equity firms. Are they the economy bad? Are they why the economy is bad? Andre, this is more along your lines. Private equity firms, are they the reason?
Private equity in and of itself is not a bad thing. Private equity is actually what allows startups and any kind of new business that wants a loan from somewhere other than a bank. If your bank doesn't give you a loan, and for most businesses starting out, this is the case, private equity is the solution. This is one of the reasons why the Western world is thriving while the Islamic world isn't. Let's just put it that way, right? Because a big part of the reason, you can argue about like who's ultimately benefiting really, really high up in the system in the Western world with banking and interest and stuff like that. But at the immediate business level, when you have the model of private equity, where you can get a loan either from a bank or from some private equity, and you pay it back with interest, you have access to capital with which you can build something. This is good. This is necessary. This is what the entire Western world has been built upon. Whereas if you were to compare that to the Islamic world, because there we have a comparison where they can't do interest because of Sharia, and the only banks and access to money in that part of the world basically are interest-bearing loans with another way where they to just repackage it in a way to make it accessible. You can't really have any business. You can't have any private enterprise. So I would say that no. Or you mean email private equity firms? Like, yeah, in general, private equity, not bad. Email private equity, I don't know exactly what you refer to by that. So yeah, we'll have to discuss that in a membership stream or something. But by default, private equity, good. What you sometimes do with it, bad. But by default, necessary for a functional economy. Culture, anything you want to add to that? For instance, what does it mean by email private equity? It's not instantly obvious to me.
Yeah, I neither. It's not to me either. But look, I can make an argument for and against private equity. I mean, the sea of sameness that we see in the efforts at constant consolidation. We can blame lack of innovation on private equity at times, but without the capital that private equity affords, we wouldn't have a lot of progress. There wouldn't
How
be a
about
lot
we
of
call it necessary evil?
Yeah, that's actually probably the best way to describe it. I would say that it needs to be afforded more scrutiny, though, because I can point at like the banking system set up for private equity funds that led to a really bad situation, Silicon Valley Bank and stuff like that. But again, my perspective is necessary evil is probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah, I agree. And then there are times when that private equity absolutely can and has been abused the moment you start attaching strings to it. Like, in order to keep this credit line, which is private equity, you need to do these DEI things. Bad. Very, very bad. Bane of the Western world. But still, wouldn't have been a Western world without that private equity in the first place. So it's a double-edged sword, and it needs to be managed, and that's where things really, really have failed in the.
Okay, so what he meant by
the last few
email is he
years.
sent me in the email he sent me here.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was thinking. A general determining factor if something is going to be good or not is if private equity firm is involved, which is a bad sign, he says.
I don't think that's not by default a bad sign at all. Again, that depends on the individual circumstance. For instance, if you have a business idea and the bank thinks it's too risky, but you go to an angel investor and you get private equity that way, this is a good thing. Well, now, on the other hand, if you, for instance, you start like a windmill park or something, and you have partial equity, and you say, we're going to finish this, but you give us subsidized and taxpayer money to do the rest, just because you want green virtue points, and then we get to keep everything else because of private equity. Very, very bad. But by default, there's nothing bad with it.
There are very balanced venture capitalists out there that and angel investors that do approach things without like putting their thumb on the scale. And I think when you mentioned the exception, especially that pertains to us, which is when they get involved in entertainment and they start putting their thumb on the scale. That's when we have cause to pause. I would say.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Absolutely. It's all about that thumb on the scale. If that thumb on the scale is for some ulterior motive, or if it is, and this is the case with angel investors, where they actually give sage advice based on experience, because they want a maximum return on their investment. So if you're dealing with one angel investor that just wants a broad portfolio, good thing. If you're dealing with a major institution that wants to spread a certain financial ideology, bad, very bad. So you have distinctions there. Yep. All right, let's move on here. Varachi says for $5. My friends and I are the target audience for disclosure. We are all massive gamers, sci-fi fanatics, book readers. No one has talked about. No, I'm not surprised. That's what I saw as well. I see zero hype. Only in Hollywood trying to pretend that it is.
Literally, Hollywood is. Tom Cruise is literally trying to like make it a thing. Stop it, Tom.
No one else is, which only goes to show that he takes influencer assignments, because he did the exact same thing with The Flash.
But culture, empathy.
I'm very empathetic. It's the biggest weapon that human beings have. It's their greatest achievement.
Oh, it's one that's been used against Western civilization right now.
Yeah, but the aliens love it so much.
It's in the film.
It literally is like, it's
it's so insulting.
Yeah, again, and like I said, this movie has. If this was made in the 60s or 70s, we'd be having a different conversation.
But the big meanie faces are one.
I know.
Big meanie faces.
Okay,
big meanie faces.
If anybody doesn't want any spoilers, shut yourself off for like a minute. Because like this is the weird thing about this movie, and I kind of hinted at this earlier, is it literally sets the aliens up like the humans are the bad guys and they've been nothing but horrible to them all these years. At no point do they suggest that humans have ever been experimented on by these aliens. In fact, they literally say that their evolution is so high above us that empathy is part of their evolution.
Let me remind everybody here real quick.
Put a spoiler on here at least.
I did. I said it.
Oh, I mean the tracker.
Oh yeah, you put the banner down. Look, I lost my train of thought. Say what you said again, Tom, because it'll
basically the whole idea that empathy is an evolution. They evolved with empathy. Basically, I can't remember
this is true.
Yeah. Okay, but go back, guys. This is the director who changed his movie to remove guns and replace them with radios. This is how retarded this film is. Yeah. It's that level of retarded. It's like the George Lucas remakes of the original trilogy, which were the worst idea to destroy your art. This guy no longer, I don't believe, is capable of making art the way he used to. And look, the argument for retirement we've already had multiple times during this conversation. I'm just gonna say, I hope I leave this sphere before I become the villain. And look, maybe villain's not the right word, but
it isn't. He's just out of touch.
Yeah. I don't know. He's pushing a lot of things. I mean, this guy has the perfect cast built for the Oscars right now. So
That may be, but like he doesn't have the influence he used to have. So like that is the only thing I would like. It'd be different if he was still like Nolan. But see, Nolan's gonna get a wake up call, I think, with the Odyssey.
Oh my gosh, that movie looks so
I don't know. At the same
bad.
time, that's gonna be this year's battle after another. So we'll see.
Oh, one battle after another. Do you think it's gonna be
Yeah,
that bad?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Well, I think it's
Alright.
going to be the movie that the industry is going to stand up for, and a lot of folks are just going to be like, "What is this? Like, this is not what we were expecting," and all that kind of business. So yeah.
True.
But as far as not the same guy anymore, and they don't. Yeah, well,
But
he
they
didn't even
quote
have
Jesus. Come on.
Well, it's
He didn't
it's
have
a
to do
different
this.
world now. That's another thing.
Yeah, he
The
could have just
world has
kept making
changed around
his Lincoln movies and all that kind of stuff, and he turned a lot of people off with that West Side Story remake. But Pack and Proton says, "Rest in peace, Rocky Allen, drive time DJ on WPL
Oh,
from
no way.
1991 to 2009." There you go. Sad to hear that. Lost him a few years ago. I'm assuming today is the anniversary or his birthday. I'm assuming. But yeah, but it sounds like you knew who that was, Culture.
Yeah. Wow. And I didn't even realize he'd passed. So goodness gracious. Of course, you know, I'm old. I don't remember things as well. So
there you go. This I'm gonna fuck up, and I'm really sorry. Muqtada
Muqtadir Ali.
Muqtadir Ali. Yeah.
What is it?
Muqtadir Ali.
Muqtadir
Ali. Muqtadir Ali.
You say it from now on. A composer like Brad Fiedel hasn't had a hit since Terminator. That music is unforgettable. Yeah, I'm stretching to try and remember other films he's done besides Terminator and Terminator 2, and I can't really think of any of it. Well, I'm sure there is, but
maybe there is, but it could also be that his sound is so distinct that so many would recognize it as a variation of Terminator, because like he has, remember, like this music was made like in
he did the music
90s.
for Fright Night.
Yeah, how different is that?
Very.
Yeah,
extremely. And that's why he doesn't have a real set sound. I think that's part of it.
Maybe. Anyway, but yeah, he completely nailed it on Terminator. And one of the big mistakes in the latter Terminator movies, you know, the trilogy of failed Terminator trilogy starters, is the lack of Brad Fiedel score. That's a big one, especially for Terminator 3 was really disappointing, the lack of the score there. But yeah, no, good point. Good point.
He's done a lot of B movies and straight to video stuff. He's done some fairly known movies.
That's what the first Terminator was a B movie.
Yeah, but not as far as like the memorable ones. Like that's the thing, is they're not ones that you would be memorable. Like, yeah, like you're talking like Johnny Mnemonic, the real McCoy.
Not everything can be a banger.
Serpent in the Rainbow, Blink. Like, yeah, see what I mean? Like, it's not like it's bad movies or anything. Just True Lies is his only other Cameron film he did.
I can't remember any score from there at all.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't remember any music from that. Yeah.
And then Dada Miwo says for $2, Adam Clady would definitely disagree about MBAs. Now, this is something you said earlier when I dipped out for a moment, I guess. Who said anything about the MBAs?
Spreadsheet warriors, you know, and they roll out MBAs left and right out of school. I mean, like
they do. It's complete inflation in higher learning and education. Yeah,
and it's something. Yeah, it's a mess, and really, it's a grab for universities and to maintain their staff and tenure and all that.
And here's like the thing: you can have an MBA be completely freaking useless at everything.
Yeah, or you can just get a fake degree from India, apparently. So,
or Hawaii or wherever. There's options. Yeah. And then CJGJR says for $4.99, Spielberg appearing on Michelle Obama's podcast instead of Joe Rogan's after making an Alien movie tells me everything I need to know. Wow, he wasted his time on Michelle Obama's podcast. Yeah, wow, he needed to be on Rogan. But probably Rogan would ask him questions which would be in line with what we have discussed here, and that wouldn't work. Whereas on Michelle Obama, it's going to be nice, safe questions with the narrative already pre-given. problem is you reached 10 people who still weren't going to see the movie, but cheer it on because of the political alignments of the people involved with it. So, yeah, not sure that's the best advertisement right there going on Michelle Obama's podcast. And then Sonic X2 X Sonic X, something loads of Sonics and X's and 2's says for $2. You don't think the Oscars will back Michael? Now, this is an interesting question.
I don't know
Paul,
if they will.
Yeah, but Tom, before you shut it down completely, which I wouldn't be surprised that you're right, but Paulie, elaborate on that. Why wouldn't they support Michael?
I think Lionsgate is going to do a push.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to get any notice.
I think it'll get a good push from Lionsgate and
well, maybe this would be a good way for the
performance.
Oscars to try to make themselves relevant, because yeah, fine, the critics already botched it, but for the Oscars in isolation, they're probably aware that the big problem they have is that they keep giving awards to bullshit movies that no one cares about and that no one has seen. Here you have a rare organic hit that isn't a comic book movie, and that isn't some animated Super Mario or something like that. This is a very real movie with real characters based on a real phenomenon, starring new and upcoming talent that probably has a great career ahead of everything. Like, why wouldn't they? This would be an opportunity to actually get some audiences coming. Especially, imagine if they have like Jafar Jackson do a live performance or something. How would that do for the ratings if they have him not just replicate, but maybe take things a little bit further? That would be a huge draw. I can absolutely see why they would want to, and if they don't, well, then you really just can scrap the Oscars altogether.
There's a few reasons why I think they wouldn't, and I could be wrong, and I hope they would.
Well, I do give some compelling arguments, though. You gotta admit.
Oh, absolutely, and I would love to see it happen. I mean, they are enough disconnected from the media that I could see what you just said at the very start with, like, you know, they're just going to be like, oh, well, we're just going to give it to them anyway. We don't care what the critics say, right? There is that part of it. Don't get me wrong. That could happen. The problem I see here is that Jafar is not one of them. See, that's the number one problem. He is, they're going to see this as he got this job because of who he is. Like, that's going to be the irony of it, is a fucking room full of nepotism is going to try and use that possibility. Because like I made the argument of, like, you can't really take that away from this kid. There's a lot of other people that auditioned. He got the role. He fought for it. He worked for it day and night. Not to be punny at all, but he did, and he got the job done, and he did it well. I mean, they could give him the Oscar, and I think that you're right. That would be a goodwill kind of thing towards the audience, going, yeah, because you're going to have a lot of people that if he doesn't get nominated, they're going to call bullshit because Rami Malek did. Right? Like, see, that's the other thing you're going to have. But I think the only thing that's going to happen for this movie is it'll get some nods for costumes, and maybe Coleman Domingo will get nominated, and that'll be it. That is my prediction, because they're going to get so hardcore behind Nolan and his re-envisioning of the Odyssey that's going to
Emily Wilson's take, rabid feminist take on Odyssey. Yeah.
See, and again, it depends on how many of the people in Hollywood fall into the category of, oh, we believe the media's bullshit story about Michael as opposed to reality.
Can I give a counter to that?
Sure, absolutely.
I think there's a very real chance that the Odyssey is going to fail at the box office with the audience. And if it does fail with those two, that it's also going to fail with the Oscars. Because there's only so much loyalty in Hollywood. When you are the king of Hollywood and you suddenly fall, they do, and Paulie, you know this, then suddenly many do have a tendency to suddenly turn on you. Because now the hidden jealousy that was there all the time suddenly comes out. Now they take some schadenfreude in your fall. And if something like the Odyssey fails, Why would they bestow all the Oscars and stuff like that on it when there's other movies that they can give it to? I think that many in Hollywood, the moment Nolan is no longer infallible with the audience, they're going to turn a little bit on him and be gleeful in doing it. Just like we saw before with M. Night Shyamalan. Many in Hollywood were quite gleeful when The Lady in the Water flopped because he had like too many strings of hits in a row, and I think there was some level of jealousy, maybe a little bit of racism, I don't know, but many people seemed very gleeful when he started believing in his own hype, and he never quite recovered. Paulie, am I completely wrong? Is that a ridiculous observation? Or is Nolan completely above that? Hollywood is going to stand with him no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, he's very much beloved in Hollywood. I mean, so is Fuqua. But so is Fuqua. So are the people at Lionsgate. Michael's not an outlier of a movie.
Yeah.
And it's the Hollywood media that went after, which is very different than the Academy, as far as the nominations, the consideration. It's a different political animal. So, the people at Lionsgate that I know, and then Fuqua, Coleman, they're all beloved by and have a great reputation in Hollywood, as does Nolan. And even if so we're kind of bouncing back and forth here, right? So I do think Michael's going to get more attention and love than Tom has predicted. That's one thing. And I think that the Odyssey is, whether it flops or not, one battle after another wasn't exactly capturing minds and hearts of everybody. And it went on this ridiculous run.
Well, that movie is part of the reason why I think they could get behind some other crappy movie like the Nolan film instead of Michael. But yeah,
that's what I'm saying, is that even if it's crappy, it doesn't matter. They'll still get behind it. But they're not going to. I'm saying is that doesn't mean that the exclusion of Michael or Obsession. I think the one that's going to be talked about a lot is Obsession.
That's true. There's a lot of little indie films and other things this year that are going to be competitive. But I mean, I think a lot of people are going to be in agreement, though, that regardless of the film itself, Jafar does deserve at least a nomination, right?
Yeah.
And same thing with Coleman Domingo, right? Like that's to be the thing. And I think most people are going to want that. And that's probably where they're going to get ignored outside of maybe Coleman, and maybe some technical awards will get nominated, and that's it. See, because that's the thing they usually do with these kind of movies. I was surprised Bohemian Rhapsody got the attention it did. But then again,
so good.
I just don't agree, but I think you'd be happy if I was right. Right?
Absolutely, right? I would love it.
Yeah.
I would fucking love it. And the only reason I think it's still a possibility is because of Bohemian Rhapsody. Because any other time, a movie like that, the Academy would just turn its nose up at, because it's almost like screams, Oscar bait. But I even had to eat crow on that one when I said Rami Malek did a fucking amazing job when I thought he was going to blow it. So
we're now coming up on the halfway point of the year, right? So
yeah,
these films that are still going to be in contention would be, from the first half, would be Project Hail Mary, Michael, Obsession, maybe some indie ones.
Project Hail Mary makes me wonder if they'll actually ignore that movie simply because it's an Amazon feature.
But again, it's the rep of the people behind it. Lord and Miller, or their rep.
That's true. That's true. I'll
so
concede that, but I'm just not sure, because sci-fi has never really been a favorite of the Academy to begin with. Let's be real.
Yeah, but that's kind of the last couple of years with body horror and horror. I mean, for heaven's sake, Sinners won. Was it what's the Demi Moore one?
Oh, the skin one. I can't remember what the hell it's called.
I honestly, Disclosure.
The substance.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think Project Hail Mary hits a tone with the Academy that they love too.
I would like to think that, because I mean, if they want to be smart and they want to start getting the audience back to an interest in the Oscars, they need to nominate movies like Project Hail Mary and Michael, along with all the other stuff.
Well, and then there's
That's
a return to practical effects and puppetry and
Yeah.
everything in Project Hail Mary that's kind of in vogue with the Academy. Academy loves that stuff the same way, you know,
Well,
they're going to have a stunt.
Speaking of
best stunts,
Spielberg,
you know?
that's the sad part is Lord and Miller made the better Spielberg movie this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember,
they
we
did.
were all comparing that to Spielberg, and it's really basically E.T. in reverse,
Mhm.
right? Where the human is the alien. But like, I agree
So
with
now
you. Like,
going
that's,
forward, what are going to be the ones of,
I
you
don't
know, of a genre base that would
Odyssey
be
is the
considered?
only movie coming up besides Dune that I can see
Dune 3.
getting major attention from the Oscars.
And
That
Digger.
isn't, and Digger maybe.
Mhm.
That isn't something we just haven't heard of or won't ever really hear of, right?
And there's
Like,
other
so-
films exactly that you won't have heard of that are going to get considered, like movies with Sandra Hüller and Penelope Cruz. But you know, that's not you know, in our bubble.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, right? Like, there's going to
Mm-hmm.
be and that's usually their Oscars, especially more so in the last dozen years or more than it used to be. Because you know, I'm always one to point out that the Oscars actually used to be fun. It actually used to be more like a roast for Hollywood, and movies you actually heard of and people you actually know used to get nominated and win, right? Like I'm always the first to pop up and remind people that Sigourney Weaver got nominated for Aliens. Right? Like, when is that going to ever happen again? Right? Like, never. No. So
Can
like,
expect a Tom Cruise nomination.
maybe it would be interesting because has he ever been nominated or only?
Of course.
I
Born
don't know if
4th of
he,
July.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Rain
he didn't win
Man
though, did he?
and Magnolia.
He's never won though. That's the
No,
thing.
he's never won.
Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know if they will Sonic, but I would like to think they would. If they're smart, they'll get behind movies like that in Project Hail Mary in the fall or in the spring next year. I mean, but they won't probably. Then Dudamiwo says 400K houses because of NBA's bros instead of 250K. Well, this is something I can relate to. But again, this is more in Andre's wheelhouse and cultures. So,
Well, there's
leave it
more
to
to it. There's more to that particular thing than inflation of MBAs.
Well, Blackstone certainly didn't help with their assault on most of the properties. They made them more and more valuable. No, Blackstone. They built into a collection of REITs. Real estate investment trusts here in the States.
You will excuse my confusion between BlackRock and Blackstone.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I know exactly because I used to make the same error all the time, and it's like these are two separate entities screwing the U.S. at the same time. So yeah.
Oh, I'm sure that the if you go far enough back, just like Secret Hideout and Bad Robot, look deep enough, you'll find some connection there. But
and I love that. And speaking of like all this stuff that would kind of zip it all up in one little thing, I love that aspect, and I mean that in the most sarcastic of ways, of Disclosure Day, where you know the government is kind of given the tip off that they're off the hook. It's all down to this horribly bad, evil corporation, right? Like that's the bad guy. It's not actually the government, because they actually tell you that the government is too stupid to basically handle it. Well, they don't say it like that, but
what's the weird name of that company? Like Oxword or something
it's
like
some
that?
stupid thing. I think and this is what I was going to ask you guys. Is there some sort of like nudge, wink, wink, poke, poke at Elon Musk there somewhere? Because I was kind of like getting hints of it, but then like, is it or no? Yeah, like the guy that what's his face plays that you mentioned earlier, Culture, the
Colin Firth.
Colin Firth character.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the whole thing is like it's built up is like it's all down to this company. It's not really the government that's keeping this shit from you.
Well, no, because they worked with the government, and one of the accusations that Hugo makes right to Colin Firth's face, and I can't remember the name of the character there, but Domingo's character Hugo actually addresses him face to face on this issue. Like you said, the magic alien dildo was, the BS device. It was the device of convenience. It can do all these things, including restoring power when the generator and backup power is.
It does anything that the plot conveniently needs at that moment in time.
That was the least of my worries was that dildo.
Well, I'm just going to say that this is the problem with this. The magical BS device is this is J.J. Abrams. Spielberg made a J.J. Abrams
Yes,
movie.
he did.
That's
He
how bad
absolutely did. And
Making
I think
a
that's how I
Spielberg
started my
movie.
review, wasn't it?
Say again.
Isn't that
Spielberg
exactly how I
doing
started my
J.J.
review?
Abrams Spielberg.
Oh, I don't
Because
know.
it is. It's all built up around this mystery box that we don't really get. I mean, we get some of it, and like you said, you get this magical element that doesn't really get explained, or I mean, it kind of does, but it's still like. So it's not exactly a J.J. Abrams movie, but it has all the elements of a J.J. Abrams movie in it.
Yeah.
But a lot of that's because J.J. Abrams is Timu Spielberg, and then you add that into the
9mm,
mix.
right? Or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
It's just not a good film, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what else to call that thing.
It's
So
like
I
Elton
stole it
John
from-
trying to do rap. Like I've been trying to think of this analogy all day.
It was like a difference between. It was part
don't
like the crystal from Superman 78.
Oh, yeah.
Then
Yeah.
Stargate. You know.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
no, what's not Stargate? Fifth Element.
Fifth Element, yeah. Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
there's
we're gonna
nothing
do
new
this
here.
5 symbols, right?
We're gonna do this again. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying every movie has to be original, but I mean, you can't be ripping yourself off all the goddamn time.
We're ripping it. It really was.
Yeah.
At least Contact. You know,
Contact was good, and I read the book.
I hate the end.
Yeah,
I hate
but
the end of Contact, but yeah,
the book was better. Or I mean, I'll just say it that way. But Jodie Foster was like,
What is it with
really
these alien
bringing it.
movies fucking the ending up?
I don't know.
Contact, Arrival, like.
well,
both of
you
them, as
have
far
to
as I'm
find some
concerned.
way to make the invasion not happen, because if it does, Earth loses. Simple as that. That's why.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, we have one more here, and then we do have to round out here soon.
man.
And
Sorry.
Dada Miwo says for another $2. I'm talking about MBAs that K companies in 6 months.
Midnight's Edge Business Edition.
So, yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still going to say it's not the MBA itself that does that. Then it's the ideology of the company.
But that and the lack of actual experience in the field that you get your MBA. The spreadsheet warriors are the ones that approach business, purely through numbers and not through experience, and that is a problem. I will say.
Yeah. There's some mixed experience with that. But with that, Tom, can you check the green machine and see if we have something there? And do follow us up there, because before long we'll have an interview up with Uwe Boll and about his upcoming movie, which I can't talk much about it because But what I will say is that of all movies that have ever been based, this is the most based movie in all of basedom that I've ever seen. So yeah, it's be fun talking about
That's
that.
saying a lot.
No one else other than Uwe Boll could have made Citizen Vigilante, is the movie I'm talking
Uwe
about.
Boll.
Uwe. I'm just so used to seeing the U, but Uwe, it's pronounced Uwe. Uwe Boll. Yeah. So look forward to the uncensored edition of that on the Green Machine.
Tom,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson has surpassed Bohemian Rhapsody.
Finally, thank God. Well, and I see that Japan might luckily get it close to the billion, but I still can't forgive Lionsgate for releasing this just a few weeks
Going
too
to
early.
digital,
Yeah.
dumb.
They could have kept it out for just a few more weeks. That's all they needed to do. Because it was making $7-8 million every weekend still. It was going to chuck right past that $1 billion mark had they left it alone. But that being said, thank you so much, guys, for all the super chats and the support. We will try to get something going soon with a member chat.
Yeah, we'll try for Sunday, maybe Showtime.
Sunday
So
at
we'll say that,
Showtime. So there you go.
By default, and just pay attention to the member pages for more details. Paulie, what you got going on?
Speaking of interviews, I started a new channel called Spotlight, where it's just the Latino slant interviews from the last 5 years and the new ones. But it's nothing but my interviews that we do with writers, directors, filmmakers, movers and shakers. I'm so excited about it. And we got one with a Japanese stunt fighter, choreographer of The Furious. That's up there.
Oh,
And
that's coming. Oh, that's this weekend.
That's today.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
man.
the movie. That's the movie to see.
Yeah, I'm going to see it. So yeah.
So and then Danny Trejo, old interview we did with Robert Meyer Burnett that we did here on Midnight's Edge. That's up there.
Did you include the fake Indian lady's sister interview that you and I when we talked to her?
I will.
That one.
That's a good one.
Great.
That's a good one. It's I mean more like actually people in the business working.
No, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Sorry,
but yeah, I started that new channel called Latino Slant Spotlight.
Awesome.
That's what's going on. Mm-hmm. I'm excited.
All right, and I'm sure
we'll probably drop... How about you?
Oh, I dropped my video review with spoilers aplenty. So if you want to know all the spoilers, check it out. I was a little ranty. I went full Tom mode on this one. So enjoy 9 minutes of rant.
Fantastic. Also hope to have you here back on.
I'll be here Monday.
Monday.
I won't miss Monday. I will be here.
Glad to hear it. Looking forward to that. That should be fun.
All you could manage was 9 minutes. Rookie.
I had to cut it off. My blood pressure was going. I was like defeating my blood pressure medication.
Yeah. We do not want to lose you over a shitty Steven Spielberg movie. Yeah, that's yeah.
That I will. That I will understand.
I went hard in the paint. I almost said a bad word in a video, and I don't do that. So yeah.
Oh, someone asked whether our interviews are in English. Those English subtitles, if it's Japanese or Spanish.
Yeah,
we've added subtitles. That's what I'm.
So it's all good. It's all English friendly.
You speak English Japanese?
The interviews, we had an actual translator.
Oh,
so
good.
That was interesting.
Because I was okay.
Japanese. I'm learning Japanese. I really think so.
Boku wa Latino slant. Konnichiwa.
Okay, what's that? Anyway. Let's get on out of here.
Yeah,
it's time for
Koala's Rain.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given, koala.